I can hear what you're thinking, all your doubt and fear. And if you look in my eyes in time, you'll find the reason I'm here. In time all things shall pass away. In time you may come back someday. Oh, to live once more, or to die once more. But in time, your time will be no more. You know your days are numbered, count them one by one. Like the notches in the handle of an outlaw's gun. You can outrun the devil if you try, but you'll never outrun. You can't outrun the hands of time. In time there'll surely come a day. In time all things shall pass away. In time you may come back, some say. Oh, to live once more, or to die once more. But in time, your time, oh, your time will be no more. I can hear what you're thinking. Thank you for watching, man.
Hey. Welcome, everybody, to the 13th edition of the Community Pulse. And this show is going to be awesome. We've got some great talents here. We've got the infamous Thomas Christ as a co-host, and we have Scapular Winging Records as the featured artist. And I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Hello, Pookie. Hello, Gary, Tony Howie, Real Justine Kasprick, Doug. Great to see you all. Thank you all. And to all my mods who do a wonderful, amazing job every week, I truly appreciate all the work you guys put into this. And yeah, I'm really excited. I was talking to Thomas backstage, and I told him, I feel like I'm on a Thomas Christ show. That's how excited I was all day. I kid you not. My legs were shaking. I'm still kind of shaking right now, to tell you the truth. I'm really excited about this. I've been following Thomas. I met Pete John first. Obviously, many of us have. It was either Pete Johns or Metalhead Hippie. And yeah, I met Thomas through Pete John, and we've been good friends since, and I think he does an amazing job in the community. And to some of you out there who follow me on my channel, this is one of the gentlemen that you want to send the your music to, so he can play it for you. And we'll be posting all the links as you need them. And yeah, I want to shout out a few, just want to get into a few premieres that happened this week. That song, thank you, Live to Fly, David L., for letting us play that. We sent them, Folk Punk sent them an email, and he quickly jumped all over it. And I'm glad we got to play it. It's a great tune. And what I do every week is I play a song that really gets me right here. And that one caught my attention. There was actually a couple, to be honest with you. But Folk Punk insisted on that one, and I'm glad he did. Jason Lemansky, I want you all, if you're all out there, Jason, you all know how much, how fantastic job he did on the song, the collab, where he helped me out on Common Man, the 4th track from my album. If you can all go to his channel, Laurie was kind enough to create a separate video for him. That's the way I wanted it, to hopefully so he can start to play it on some of the channels. I think it's a wonderful video. They did a great job, and it really shows Jason playing the tenor and alto sax. He's an incredible musician, incredible guy. Please follow that link if you can. Right click and please hit the like and subscribe to him if you haven't. Yeah, I would appreciate that. Lady Campion put out a track called Desert Island. It's a cover. Sounds beautiful. And Laurie did another a Heart full band cover with the song Alone, and featuring Lord Zeitress, PJ Colby, and Sarah Jean, and Rock Forever R4. I think it's a fantastic track. You got to check that out. Shake Your Guitar Tutorials, Butterfly Scream. Don't forget, thank you, Mike and Dawn. Last week was a fantastic show. I had a lot of fun. It's really cool to get to finally get to meet you. That's one of the perks of doing what I do. I get to meet all these beautiful people, artists, and really get to know them. So don't forget they had a release called Don't Fret. Georgia J is going to be on the show. I'm not sure if many of you know who she is. She's a fantastic artist, guitarist, and singer-songwriter out of England, and it's all country music. She is going to be on the show soon. One of the songs that was up against Live to Fly was this song called Land of Song, but I didn't get her permission. I think she's watching now, or she'll watch in the morning. This one's called Land of Song. It's a beautiful track. Please go out and check that out. Small Town Girl and Bob Clements, Counting Dust. Federico Berluzzi from Italy. This gentleman, he just appears anywhere in Europe. He was in the US last summer, and just appears in the middle of the streets and just plays. It's amazing, just him and his guitar. He's walking while he's playing. He's a great entertainer. James Timms released a song, Threat to You. String Ripper, Jaws movie theme on guitar. Sounds fantastic. Johanna Lynn, What is the Purpose? And so a lot of these artists have released more than one or two tracks throughout the week. So I just call out one. Please go check out their channels. Ernst Vingerhoitz, I know he'll listen tomorrow morning. And Ernst, this is one of the gentlemen I was telling you, you can send your track to. It's Thomas Christ. You'll find all the links. Michael Akazeland, he's released a couple this week. The Absence of Everything. It's a brilliant track, and we're going to talk about another one in a bit. But please go check him out. Synthworks had a few tracks. This one's the Infinite Void theme. Chris Durham music channel. He did a track of New World. I thought that was over and done with, but he was just jamming along to it with what he calls endless piano noodling. It's pretty cool. He did a great job. And then Son of Snake. I'm going to stop there. He continues to release great music, at least one or two a week. Something Bigger is Watching. That's what it's titled. So I do want to do one more shout out, and somewhere with my cutting and pasting that I do too many times, I missed our very own folk punk. So this is Maze End Music Lab. Folk Punk has the link for it. They released a track with collaboration between Maze End Music Lab and Folk Punk and Ron Ward. It's a fantastic track. Please go check it out. And thank you, Folk Punk, for letting me know that I somehow erased it. So I want to introduce, I don't want to shut out anymore for now. I want to introduce Thomas Christ. He needs no introduction. We all know who he is and what he does. He sits in his chair for 6 hours, 6 hours playing our music. He's another one. If it wasn't for him, my music wouldn't be heard. And I think I speak for many of us out there. What these guys do is it's incredible. We need to go out and support them. You all know I'm not asking for anything. I'm okay right now. I really, really strongly recommend you go to their channels and offer up some support. I think it's really important. We need to have our music out there for all of us to listen to, and that's what they do. They commit to it, and they do a great job. They don't let us down week over week. That's all they do. So I'm going to stop talking for now. I'm going to introduce Thomas Christ by playing one of his songs first, and then we'll call him on.
take us higher. There ain't no stopping. Give me what I want tonight. Come on and give me what I want. We gotta push it to the limit. Give me what I need again and again. Give me what I want. Let the fire take us higher. There ain't no stopping. Give me what I want tonight. Alright now. Yeah, yeah. Give me what I want. We gotta push it to the limit. Give me what I need again and again. Give me what I want. Let the fire take us higher. There ain't no stopping. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. We gotta push it to the limit. Give me what I need again and again. Give me what I want. Let the fire take us higher. There ain't no stopping. Give me what I want tonight.
How good was that? Let's bring on Thomas Christ.
Hey, Frank. Hey, everybody. What's up?
What's going on, Thomas? Like I said, man, I feel like, yay, I'm finally on the Thomas Christ show.
I'm finally on the Frank Terzo show. Let's go.
This is fantastic.
All right.
So everybody, how it you all know how it works. The featured artist or the co-host gets to choose. Gives me about 3 or 4 different choices of who they'd like on, and Thomas Christ was the first one, and all I could think of, oh man, he's such a busy guy, and and his second choice was folk punk, and I'm thinking, should I just go directly to folk punk? And I thought, no, I'm gonna try it. And Thomas wasted no time. Within 15-20 minutes, he says, absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. I finally get to talk to you backstage. We didn't talk a lot about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know we have that in common.
In Russ we trust. Here we go.
Yes. No, they're gonna do well. I've been following them.
I think Wilson's gonna turn some heads.
I think
we got a real quarterback now. He's been in 2 Super Bowls. Won one, almost won the other one.
Yeah, and you know what? Pittsburgh's organization, I know a lot of people have their own teams, but they are the classiest, and this is coming from somebody outside looking in. I'm here from Canada. They are, as far as I'm concerned, the classiest franchise in, I think, all of sports.
Oh yeah. The Rooneys, they've been running the team for, the whole time, and it's not like some corporate conglomerate or, they're involved in the day-to-day. They're like the unofficial mayor of, the Art Rooney's like the unofficial mayor of Pittsburgh at this point. Like,
yeah, and they never get to the point where they let the player dictate, it's team first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tomlin, how cool is Mike Tomlin? He's one of my inspirations. I look up to this guy because he just gets up on the mic and he says the coolest stuff. One of my favorite Tomlinisms was there was a battle for the cornerback position a couple of 4 or 5 years ago, and he said we're still squirreling those nuts.
Yeah,
I love that guy.
Yeah, I just remember, not to get too political, but a situation they had, but he gathered the team, and right in the middle of the field, he's just a class act.
Yeah.
Tomlin, but all three coaches, like that's got to tell you something. When did it come in? 1965 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Noel started by 69, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
They've
yeah,
had 3 coaches since then. Nobody's even close. Everybody's had more than that.
in any sport, it's
No,
just
yeah.
incredible. Oh, look at this.
And we got Sandy there from Pittsburgh. Right on.
Isn't that awesome? Yes, I got your email to your text, Sandy. I will be shouting out your friend. Thank you. Yeah, no, this is fantastic. Thomas, once again, I can't wait till we get to the milestones. I spoke to, because I actually didn't have any. And I absolutely forgot about another gentleman, but it's Thomas Christ's birthday on June 2nd. So that's just a few days away. And he just mentioned it backstage. So lots of cakes and candles and all that fun stuff in the chat, please. This is fantastic. Am I allowed to ask what your age is, Thomas? Because I know my age, and it's 60.
Yeah, no, not quite there. I feel like it sometimes, but it's gonna be 42. The answer to everything. So
that's awesome. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. And I'm glad. I know you had some difficulties with the singing, some health issues. And I did manage to catch before the hockey game started. I was driving to my son's place, and I listened to your stream on the radio.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, it sounded fantastic.
Thank you.
Nice to have you back. How's it feeling?
Yeah, it's just getting a little bit better every day, and getting over the hump of doing the first show. I will tell you, hitting some of those screams, it was killing my voice. Like, I literally, there was a tear running down my face at one point because like my throat was just not used to it. So once I get into practice more, it'll be easy like it used to be. But
yeah, that's that could be scary, right?
Yeah, no, because you rely on your voice when half of what I do is like on YouTube and making music. If my voice isn't working, that's a problem.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah. So we're going to get Brock on very soon. But Thomas, I have to ask you this question. And believe me, I'm not the intelligent one. Folk, like I told everybody, Folk Punk does all the work backscene. So he just makes me look good.
He is awesome.
He's such a great guy. A really good friend. My whole family considers him as part of the family. How did you discover YouTube? I'm just curious. We all know how I did. I found Pete Johns.
That's an interesting question. I'm sure, like, I know I was into it back in the day because I have an old channel that goes all the way back. It's like 2007 or 2008 or so.
Wow.
And I probably just like everybody else, I saw the videos that were going around. What was that Numa, that guy in the chair, and the Star Wars kid and everything, and just kind of from there, it was cool. And YouTube, I remember before like the Google takeover and everything of YouTube, they had anything you could possibly think of, because they hadn't ironed out all the copyright stuff. So you could just go to YouTube and you can watch old TV shows and old movies and stuff. It was all on there until they started cracking down on that kind of stuff. But I really, one of the things I regret deeply, it was not seeing the potential of YouTube and not kind of diving in headfirst. Because I put some videos. I had a music video, I think from back in like I said, 2007 or so. And I had put up some like rehearsal footage of me and the guy that used to play guitar for me, but I never really like fully took advantage of like doing, creating shows and stuff for it. And I wish I had, because some of those guys that got in early really, really did well.
Yeah, so I guess that's how they got their numbers up. Thomas, you mentioned earlier, just now, you said the guy who used to play guitar. I didn't know you did. I should have known, that you played live. And how long ago? What was that like? And
Well, it was only it wasn't a lot of shows. I probably did 7 shows total.
that's cool.
I started out. It was actually February 2nd of 2001. I did I think it was at the end of a Thomas or the end of a U Rock or something. I played some of the original video from that show. But that was just like at a under 21 club. We did like 2 shows there, and then a couple years I actually took a break from music between 2001 and 2005, and then after I got back into it in 2005, we did a few more shows there. I got invited to play at like a local there was a goth night called Ceremony that it had stopped being a regular thing, but they were bringing it back just like once a month and bringing bands in. So I got to play there, and then I did one more show after that, and then that was it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I don't know. Can we put hands up? How many people? And I'm looking at Gary Hubbs. Of course, he's seen it, but I never got to see it. You should have I don't know, a show based on that. I would pay to see it.
Well, if you look up, I think it was entitled $5 Damn, because there was a point in the show where I said I had my album that I was promoting at the time, Christ World, and I said you can get this album for $5 damn. And Wayek and Gore Team 85 really got a kick out of that in the chat. So I think if you look up $5 Damn, you might be able to find that episode.
Very cool. Well, you got your work cut out for us because you and I say for us because yeah, I hit Thomas with oh, by the way, it's you the one that's going to dictate the whole show from here on in. So.
He's got all his papers and stuff over there. He's ready to go.
Yeah. I'll be doing some shout outs. So I'm going to shout out just a few here, and then we're going to bring on Scapular Winging Records. So Brian Drum Cave, a lot of these are strong followers of my channel, and I already noticed that a lot of people are interacting with each other. I think that's awesome. I just wish they would send some of their music, and I know you're out there listening, to some of these channels and watch your channel grow even bigger. Brian Drum Cave, a drum cover of Laura Branigan's Gloria. Jerry Gomes, Molecules. Great track, Jerry. Brian Drums, Eve 6, Inside Out. Emperorism did a really nice, had a really nice live, spontaneous, I don't know, it was about 10 minutes, preparing to Metal Fest. Caviar Cubic, Real Superstar. There's another great talent that hello, Laurie, that I wish he would share some of his music, and I know they'll watch it on replay. Kathy Ogram, what a great chromatic tango. Wasn't that beautiful?
Yeah, she is amazing.
And that was the third one. And I'm going to say it was those 3. I'm like, oh no, what do I do? So usually it's like a no-brainer. Just one pops out, but this week was difficult to choose. So Counterfeit Self band page, the same place. And so a lot of these, just so you all know, a lot of these have come from Thomas's channel. Makes it really easy for me to pick up. Cubic Lover 1972, Crazy Loud. Gordium. He's had, I think, 3 releases this week. So some with Pseudo Science. And this one's Coax Chrome Bitter Pills. Amazing stuff.
That Coax Chrome track is freaking awesome.
Yeah. He's such a great talent, eh?
Yeah.
I've got something in the works I've got to complete, so I'm just waiting for the shoulder to heal a bit more. PA, pronounce it alternative, Bottom Drawer. Great track, and I know she's a really good friend of Thomas Christ's community. Greg Hutto, Dumbed Down. I think that's a fantastic track. Emmanuel Ferro, Cetus. Hey, Robbie Stingle had a release this week. Can you believe it? So I don't know. I think it's 2,500 now. Fantastic. I'm old school. Howling Fret Fumbler. Hey, Sunbeam. I love that one. Michael Thompson. What a brilliant artist. We had him here, I think, 3 weeks ago. Got great response. I had a lot of fun with folk punk and him. When the Sun Shines Down. If you're into good old classic rock and roll, the true classic rock and roll,
Yeah,
it's right up there. Yeah. Detective Agent Darknut. Thomas, I was saying a few weeks ago, I didn't know it was Glitch, and then I didn't know it was shit.
He's got a few different aliases. I love his stuff though.
Oh,
he doesn't send a lot to me, but he sends one every now and then, and I love hearing his stuff.
Yeah. Brilliant artist. Pete Hopeless, another drummer, a cover of Santana's Love, Devotion, Surrender. Paul planned it. I think he's got two more out there. A lot of his work is being produced by DJ Big Red, who's in the chat now. A lot of these artists are in Europe, so they're sleeping right now, but a lot will check it out tomorrow. So just go check out some of these artists. Zio Fender and CCJ collaboration with a song called Osprey, and 11 Drums, a drummer I met through Laurie's Mishmosh, and he did which cover, Laurie? Last night I put in the chat, putting Laurie into a certain cover, and she says I wasn't in that cover. It's like, I don't even know anymore. She's in everyone, it seems. But I think it was the Gold. That's what it was. And then Rhodey's Jam Cave, a live band cover of She's Moved On. And then Dave's music videos. He does a lot of dance videos. This one is Elvis Presley's Jailhouse Rock. And I don't want Brock to wait in the backstage too much longer. What do you think? We bring him on?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. We'll bring him on with a little introduction. My headphones are acting up, and let's do this. Well, how beautiful is that? Let's bring him on.
All right.
Hello,
Brock,
Hey,
Hey.
man.
how's it going?
going well. Going well.
Thanks for having me on, Frank. Good to see you,
Oh.
Tom. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Of course.
Yeah, you were one of
Thanks for requesting me.
right away. And he asked probably the way I was hesitant to asking you. I really would like to get Thomas or folk punk, and it's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were one of the, I'll be honest with you, one of the first I thought of when I did this folk punk and I when we started this, and I just love the all your music, but especially that Tierra del Fuego. It's beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
Tierra del Fuego, man. I don't know how you do that, but that you know, and you got some talented folks working with you as well, too.
Absolutely. There's a key to how do I do that. I've got Ron Marshall and Matt Weiser working with me. And so, I mean, that's people make a lot of comments on the production, like that's Ron. And the steel guitar, people always comment on, that's Matt. You know, like he's doing the multi-instrumental stuff. And we've worked with some other really talented people. So Tierra del Fuego is definitely a band. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, a great one indeed.
Thank you.
Do you guys play shows?
We do. The lockdown kind of put a damper on some things.
Oh yeah.
I was having some health issues. We've played a couple backyard parties and are accepting select shows.
Nice.
But
Very
we're
nice.
not like you know, beating down the door trying to get any show on a Tuesday night at a random gallery. Kind of been there, done that. So not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just you know,
Yeah.
a lot of things going on in life.
I totally understand that.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah. When did you come on to, how did you discover YouTube?
So during the lockdown, I got an iPhone and I had not opened GarageBand since like maybe 2010. And I was playing around with the sounds and they were kind of chintzy. So when I opened it a decade later on my phone, I was like, oh my God, the technology has really come a long way. So I started messing around and pretty soon I was making songs on my phone. And then you get to a point where you want to do more with your mixes. So now you're opening GarageBand on your computer and then you hit the limitations and you're like, well, I want Logic Pro, you know, and then I'm taking a Pro Tools class. And it just like, I've always been interested in recording. But it was kind of like the lockdown that kind of reinvigorated my interest in digital audio workstations because I was always an analog guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
When did you get started in like what was your how did you get started in music? Because obviously you've been doing it probably like your whole life, right?
I
Close to it.
have. I was lucky because my dad played in bands. So there were always guitars and amps around and stuff like that. And I was playing from a very early age. And I also had a very forward-thinking music teacher when I was in third grade who took a few kids who had a little bit of talent and she assembled a band out of us. We were called Odyssey. And we played covers like Born in the USA and Heaven by Bryan Adams. You know, got to cover the Canadians, right?
Yeah.
yep.
Uh,
There you go.
Odyssey
yeah.
being a Greek ship.
Yeah, that was kind of the start there. And then I was always interested in recording. And then, you know, once I was in high school, I was playing in all kinds of bands, metal, punk, indie. And then, you know, in my 20s, I was heavily involved in the Phoenix underground music scene and, you know, have maintained some of my connections there since, although I'm not involved on any level like I used to be.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Do you have any recordings of that the metal band you used to be in? I'd love to hear that.
I do. I have one tape. I have not digitized it. Hopefully it'll still play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd let you
There
should
you
get that
go.
uploaded.
Get that, send it to Thomas. He's got some ideas. That would be awesome. Yeah.
We had a song called You're in Love, like YOU''RE. You're in Love. And the engineer who probably, you know, correctly assessed us as completely awful, referred to the song as You're in Love, URINE love. So he had fun with that. So I'll send you the song You're in Love sometime.
Yes. That'd be awesome. Yeah. It could be a halftime headbang. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, one day I'll get on that.
I think you were.
Yeah, I was with
You
Gary
were
and
with the Gary. Yeah. You guys got to do another one of those.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, this is awesome. Like I bailed out on 15th Bend. Thomas is going to be asking all the questions, but I do want to shout out a few people if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
I'm at shout out number 40 for the releases that have come through this week. As I mentioned backstage, this week there was 75. There was actually a lot more, so I had to cut some back. Hello, Viv. Hello, Michael. 15th Ben, my brother. What's going on? I had a really good time on Saturday afternoon meeting with 15th Bend and Hetriani. It was really cool. Deed 1951, Electric Symphony. John Lemon and Lemonade, a Canadian artist, Whispering Wall. Again, these are all artists that I'm trying to get more involved in the community, but they certainly follow and support my channel. And this is why I take the time to shout them out. Stephen Ewert. Yes, another Stephen Ewert release. They're just like songwriting machines. I just love it. Melbourne.
Stephen has something like, what is he, like almost 8,000 videos on his channel?
Yeah, if he's
crazy
in there, it'd be nice if he sent it. Let us know exactly what it is, but I guess we can go over to the channel. Oh, Folk Punk knows. He knows everything.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
probably going to put it in there any second.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, I knew it. Chris Lane, really nice track, Chris. Weed, Willie, and Whiskey. Gordon Lee Weaver, love his music. Little Ones. Yeah. Adam Holtz. I think he's in the high 700, close to 700 tracks that he's released, and they're all great songs. Love his vocals. He kind of reminds me of being Canadian, a Neil Young type voice. Really cool stuff. Mark Tanner, Sunshine on a Rainy Day, great track. Mark Wade, In the Attic of Memories. Sonic Grace, Our God. Daniel, thank you. Viv Spiro, nice. A David Gray cover, Babylon. I'm not sure if you sent it to Thomas yet, but great track. No Lake, Delaying My World. Ricochet, 1,000 Miles from Home. And Sticks for Gun had a nice one, When Ice Formed. Hypnotic Transmissions, Takeover Demo. Midnight Bandit, he's got a couple of shout outs this week. He has a show coming up, but I'll shout it out a little later. Ghosts of the Highway, yes, he's Canadian. Diamond Dave, Lesson in Love, Level 42, slap bass cover. You got to check that out. This is really good. Tony Howie, a lovely song, Tony. I saw you in the chat earlier. He's released a track called The Light. And again, I hope you're sending these tracks out to get heard. Liza Day, Shadow People. Liza Day has been doing a lot of work. She has two different people she wants to premiere on this show. And what this show is about, if you want to come on the show as a co-host and you have an artist that you want to share with the community, just send me an email. It's your show. This is a community show. It's all yours. Hugh Caldwell and Miss High. What a nice collaboration. I just love her voice, and obviously Hugh's guitar playing. They did a cover of The Mountains Win Again, and I've got both links to post. And Laurie, if you have the other PJ Colby and Lord Zytrus, their links for your collab, you please post them. East Virginia Studios released a track called The Speed of Life. Dwight Bailey, Time Machine, and Gregory O'Sullivan. Really nice track, Shadow Maker. Yeah. Let's get back to you, Mr. Brock.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, so you have Brock a couple of different sides to your scapular. Well, I guess first of all, tell us about Scapular Winging Records. Where does that come from, and what's the name mean and everything?
Beautiful question. Oh, he's on
You're
mute.
muted.
Let me unmute him. Why is he muted? You have to unmute.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I thought I did it.
Scapular winging is what happens when you have weakness in your like your shoulder blade areas, and your shoulder blades wing outward, and so that's where the name comes from. Scapular Winging Records was formed in 1997, basically when a friend and I wanted to release some stuff that we'd done and shop it around to labels. So we kind of had to have our own little thing. We were also thinking about maybe getting some distribution, which we had briefly for a while. We were working with a Spanish label called El Diablo Records. And the main band where it really took off was with Ann Guppy's Eat Their Young, which is a band, Thomas.
Yes.
We keep releasing stuff. We haven't been a band since 2005, and we keep releasing stuff because we have such a huge backlog of material. We were constantly recording. We're all friends. We're all still in touch. So every once in a while, an Ann Guppy's Eat Their Young song comes out, and
Nice.
that's fun. So that was where Scapular Winging Records really took off. And then after Ann Guppy's Eat Their Young, Tierra del Fuego records have come out on Scapular Winging Records. And then my solo stuff is usually done under the name The Black Rake, which is kind of like, it's usually instrumental. It's often loop based, kind of my midnight creations, where I get to go just in a different direction.
But you've done some shows as the Black Rake, because I think I've had one or two maybe live tracks.
There's
remembering that
probably Tierra del Fuego or maybe something under my own name. Occasionally I'll put something out under my own name, and I've done some solo shows by myself.
Cool.
It's been a while, but
Yeah. and so when you would do solo shows, that's interesting to me because I kind of did things like that. Like how would you go about that? And was it just like you and a guitar, or did you have like some looping hardware or something like that?
the vast majority of my gigging has been done with bands. And so, just getting integrated into a local scene and trying to putting together bills with other bands that you like in town, or trying to get on bills with other bands touring through, that kind of thing. And so, like with Ann Guppy's Eat Their Young, we were probably playing almost weekly there for a while.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, got to play with some really cool bands. It was fun. And then there's the whole part of that where you meet bands and they don't have a place to stay, so they end up crashing at your place. And it's a way of making connections, making friends. I met a band. You're in Pittsburgh, right? Not Philadelphia.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Okay. Do you know the band Bardo Pond from Philadelphia?
No, I don't think so.
They're an example of a band that would tour through and stay at my place, and made some descriptions there. Yeah,
that's awesome. There was so Laurie had asked about. Let me go back and look at that real quick. Where the picture
to be my job, and I'm failing you.
the picture on I assume she's talking about the big wrinkle, and that was your grandfather, right?
That was my stepdad. We called him our
Stepdad,
step John.
okay.
Yep, my mom's husband, Step John.
Yeah,
That's
and so
beautiful.
what was going on in that picture? Do you remember?
That was just that was him and my niece when she was very small. And I don't know, I liked the picture because he's so big and she's so small. And the big wrinkle, the expression came from my grandpa. I had a little cousin who would always scream and cry when it was time to go home. And he would sit with a whiskey in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and he'd flick his ashes, and he'd say, wait till she gets him the big wrinkle. Implying she's got nothing really to cry about right now. And so the big wrinkle is basically, when you're in the shit.
Yeah. Or just life in general.
Life in general, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, why don't we play one of these songs from Tierra del Fuego? The Devil's Waltz is the first track that we chose.
Okay.
All
And
right.
Can I make 2 comments on this?
100%. I was just going to ask if you wanted to.
We
add something.
had on this song, we had Jane Hilton, who passed away a couple years ago. She was a dear friend of the band. She played fiddle, violin, whatever you needed her to play. She was excellent. So notice her work on this song. And the accordion player is Andrew Jemsek, who is in many Phoenix-based bands, an excellent musician. So I wanted to point those 2 people out, in addition to the rest of the guys in Tierra del Fuego on this track.
Sweet.
Beautiful. Let's do it. How good was that?
Thank you.
That was wonderful. Wonderful.
Always fun to play live too.
And it's so rich in tradition. Like it's got that accordion. That's just beautiful.
Well, it reminds me a lot of like, and I grew up in a hunky steel town. There's a lot of you go to weddings and festivals and stuff, and they got the polka bands and everything. It reminds me of that. It's got a little bit of like Eastern European kind of vibe to it.
In fact, I told Jane when she said, "What are you going for here?" I said, "Think Eastern European, definitely, with the violin for sure."
Well, it really comes through in that.
Yep.
Also, probably a little bit of like a Spanish type of thing too.
Yeah, and some of the percussion, especially We had fun with that too. Ron and James, the guitar player, and I, we did the percussion together in one room. That was fun. You know, just like playing bottles and, you know, just whatever's laying around, keys, things like that. Yeah.
So you like to experiment when you're in the studio and try different things and try unusual things.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's the way to do it.
We did a lot of that in Guppies.
Mhm.
In fact, we would switch instruments just to keep it interesting. You know, we.
Oh wow,
You know,
that's so cool.
drummer play guitar player play bass, just switch around, keep it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've done some really experimental stuff. I know with like in Guppies Eat Their Young that you've sent in. Some stuff that you've done on. So now, how much do you do like as far as like creating on like a phone, creating on an iPad? Do you do a lot of that, like the mobile type creation?
So since 2021, I've been creating mostly on my iPhone, and I use GarageBand because my phone's always with me. It's so easy. It's just it works for me, and that's where I like to create. And if you're in MIDI, you can always put that, you know, open it up in Logic or GarageBand. I've even exported files, you know, as stereo files, just as waves, dropped them into a Pro Tools template. There's all kinds of possibilities. And, you know, you're recording in 24-bit. It's 44.1, but it's still 24-bit on your phone. So it's a pretty powerful tool, really.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I always say that some of the best music I've heard is created on an iPhone, because I know like we got Gary Hubbs here in the chat, a lot of his early stuff, and you know, maybe even up until recently, he was doing on an iPhone. We had you may have heard of the Indigo Sunsets.
Yeah.
Like they do all their stuff on iPhone. Of course, me myself an iPhone. We know him,
He's
and
good.
he does everything on iPhone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing, like what you can do. Like, I always think if those bands like the Beatles or something saw what we have, they would be like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Yeah. And the limitations can almost be fun in some ways. I mean, I got to the point where I get frustrated trying to mix off the phone because you can't group things together and you can't EQ your master reverb and your master echo. Just things like that would get frustrating. But at the same time, the limitations, it's like, well, I guess I can't do that, so I'll do this, you know, and it makes it much more straightforward. And like, you know, Brian Eno was really into limitations, and he would say like, you know, this record is just going to be 4 tracks, or this record will be 8 tracks, or no reverb on this record, or just fun limitations like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the Beatles did most of their stuff on like I think like a 4-track basically.
Yeah.
And then I think they could get some extra tracks if they brought another 4-track in and they could sync them up somehow. It sounded really frustrating and really time consuming to set up.
Totally.
And of course, like these days, if you make a mistake, you can just go back and, you know, hit undo. There was no undo on the tape machine. You had to slice it up, and you know, I'm sure that was, you know, a iffy proposition sometimes.
And I still hear great bands. I'm not taking anything away from modern performers, but on the whole, I think if you were a player, you generally had to be better in those days because you were part of an ensemble that made a sound, and everybody had to be on, everybody had to be together. You had to get the take right. So, you know, I'm not saying that people don't play, don't get me wrong and think that people don't play as well as they used to. It's just, it's easier to get away with. Like I've lost some physical abilities in my hands. I can still do a lot, but being able to do multiple takes helps me tremendously.
That's awesome. That's,
being
you
able
know,
to
and that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like some of those? 'Cause I know you've had, you know, some struggles and some limitations.
Yes, I have a neuromuscular degenerative disease, and it has taken away a lot of my ability to like bar chords, to strum. I can still rock a pretty mean bass because the hand is hanging over the bass, and I still have really strong fingers. So as long as I don't have to move my arm up and down the neck too much, I've made adaptations. I'm playing a smaller bass now, a Fender Mustang, instead of a Precision or a jazz bass. So I've made some adaptations like that. And my friends, my band members are very supportive, as is my wife. And, trying to encourage, whatever I need to move to the next step to keep me playing. So.
Yeah. But that's incredible that the technology and everything that allows you to, continue to express yourself musically. That's so important.
Absolutely.
And I think, so many people in our community face that. I immediately think of like Russ 8889, who, only has the use of half of his body, but because of the iPad, he's able to create, the music he does in Delicate Giants, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people that this technology is helping, and I think that's important. And
yes,
absolutely.
Wonderful. And the phone, I like that it's so small. It's easy for me to use. I don't have to. It doesn't require a lot of arm strength. Just everything is so compact and right there. That's one thing I really like about the phone.
I mean, honestly, for me, I find it a bit like too confining, and like even like I do some stuff on the iPad, which is nice. The tactile kind of thing is cool with it, and the ability to load up so many apps that just do incredible things that weren't possible years ago. But I'm still drawn to just doing it on the computer because it's bigger real estate and things are the way you expect it to be, and you don't have to use the workarounds sometimes that you have to do on iOS. So,
how did you get started with FL Studio? I know you use that one.
Yeah, well, that was back in the day, like probably in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I had some friends and I heard from them, oh, there's this cool program, FL Studio, and it's does can do your drums and stuff in there. Well, I was like, cool, I'll check it out. And I got some version of it that like you couldn't even, because it was a demo you couldn't even save it. So I would just like make something in there and I would print it out to my Boss BR8, which is on the shelf back there. You really can't see it right now, but and then I would just record guitar and vocal over top of that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I got the more like sophisticated FL Studio as it became more sophisticated, and then eventually started just record. I was doing like just drums and bass and synth in FL Studio, export it, and then I would do like guitars and vocals in Reaper, and eventually like FL Studio became more like a DAW instead of just like a sequencer.
Yeah.
And so then I was able to just do everything in FL Studio, which has been great.
That makes sense. And Frank, you're in Logic Pro, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've used Logic too, because I used Logic basically like for a while, because my PC got to the point where I couldn't really do anything with it anymore. It was so slow and laggy, it wouldn't work. So I started recording on the iPad, and that's how I got into like GarageBand and stuff. Yep. And then my wife had borrowed this or had got this MacBook, and she had used it for a specific purpose. She wasn't using it anymore. It was just sitting in a room. I was like, wait a second, we got a MacBook. It was, about 10 years old at the point, but I was like, let me see. And I fired it up and ended up, using GarageBand in that. I was like, this is amazing. And then I went to Logic, and I used Logic for a while, but then I got to a point where I was like, I got to get back to FL Studio, because that's where I'm at home.
And it's nice to have everything in one place. I'm jumping around between DAWs all the time, and it is nice when you can just kind of be in one place. Yeah.
Ozark, I feel the same way, brother. They do make it sound so easy. I can barely use my phone to text and DM and all that stuff.
Oh, you could do it. Watch Pete Johns.
Yes, I was just gonna say Pete Johns. I owe him an incredible debt. Anytime I couldn't figure something out, look it up. Pete has a video, and I'm like, wow, and I just
if Pete doesn't have it, then hop on over to Jade Starr, because she's probably got it covered.
Yeah, she's great. And Patrick, is he called the GarageBand Guide?
Yeah, the GarageBand Guide.
Yep, he's good. I have to do big shout out to Pete Johns for all that he has taught. I feel like I owe him a lot. And of course, Ron Marshall in my band. I mean, he teaches audio, and I owe him so much, like, a a lot of what I know I've learned from him and working with him and watch him work and see how he does mixes and sets things up. I ask a lot of questions, like he'll mix something for our band and I'll say, okay, tell me about this, explain to me what's going on under the hood here. So that's been very cool.
Now, what kind of just kind of see like around you got some gear there. Like, what kind of a setup do you have there? What's the studio look like?
Like behind me, like right now, I'm just at a very simple desk. I've got a couple JBL monitors, my SM7B, which I use for everything. Your basic Focusrite with a Soyuz gain booster, just real simple. Behind me, you can see like books, records. We're still kind of painting, filling in some things. You might see some guitars on the wall back there. I'm not sure. Let's see if I can move out of the way. Well, maybe not. Anyway, yeah, that's some of what we got going on here.
That's excellent. So do you find yourself still like? There we go. We can see him now.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Do you find yourself using a lot of as much of the hardware as you used to, or do you find that the software is more than adequate?
I use the software just because like my arms are janky and it's like chords are a huge pain in the ass. I still have some hardware. I never had anything really high end, like a Laurie preamp, an Alesis compressor, and a quad reverb, and some basic stuff like that, but nothing real high end. And I do have fantasies of like using some like high end compressors and like maybe. And using it with Pro Tools or with Logic Pro. Do you guys have any experience with that? Like trying to integrate the two?
I don't, because I'm mostly in the box.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier in the box. It's just, and I actually enjoy routing. I always kind of thought I hated routing because of like cables and just the tangle and like the literal mess of routing. And like when you're doing it digitally with a mouse, it's actually really kind of fun.
Did you mention what kind of like interface you're rocking right now?
It is a Focusrite 2i2, I believe.
Focusrite 2i2, yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Yep. Yeah, Ron keeps me with the latest stuff. When they come out with a new one, he brings it over, swaps it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think, Frank, should we dip into this next track?
Yeah, let me finish shouting out just a few to finish off the new releases that I caught this week. Badass Brutus Guitar, Holiday Mode on. Melanie Coley, she will be on the show little later on this year. Tears of Joy, amazing vocalist, singer-songwriter, brilliant stuff. Go check her out. Forest of the Wolf. A really nice track, A Story Without a Voice. Well done, Mark. Ozark Drifter, Natural High, a nice cover. Ozark is in, he supports so many of these communities and he just lays low. He's got a beautiful voice, nice country type voice. If anybody's looking for a vocalist to collab with, there's a good call there. Toothpick Vic, we've been following each other's channels for a few years now. Really cool guy. He does a lot of covers. He just stands there and jams along. Throw Rag, Demons in a Row. Leo Metal Guy, just caught the other day, I think, yesterday, Within Temptation's cover of Paradise. David Cartret. Now this is different. He's got a little bit of did you catch that one yet? A little bit of a love sort of song.
Yeah.
It's
Is
like
that the one I had last week? I can't remember.
Oh,
now.
was it? Maybe I'm behind. This one's called Shame. I think
maybe I have that to play on Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. It's killer track. Well done. Proven Groove, the Pink Panther Proven Groove version. It's really cool. Paulo Farrell, another great artist. He did an acoustic cover of Never Gonna Give You Up.
This is great. You guys have to see this. This is awesome.
Yeah. So good. Trentago released Somber. Herman LaService, he released Folk Punk found this. I don't know how I missed it, but Lightning in the Darkness, a really nice track. Volusion, Survivor, another cool track. And then my guy, Lunar Vibe, Cloverleaf Rag. There was another track that was I was tempted at the beginning. Great little track. Anyways, I'm going to stop there, and then actually I'll just finish this page off so I can flip it. New artists, and a few of these I found from your channel, Thomas, and Jeff's, and as I always do, Mr. E Runaway. Both Folk Punk and I aren't even sure where we got him from, but he appeared on both of ours, so maybe it was, I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but Thomas Christ, Metalhead Hippie, and 15th Bend, please go hit this link. If this guy doesn't make your halftime headbang, like, you just got to check it out. The production is, yeah, I'm really excited about this artist. You really got to check it out. We don't even know where he came from. He just appeared on both our channels. Great track. Pictures Within, Friday I'm in Love, Moses J. Hawkins. So again, new to me. Maybe he's been around in many other communities, but this track is called Anxiety. Scary Garcia, I know I heard him on yours or Pete John's. SOS Remix, nice track. And Sloat, Don't Let Go. And Take a Short Break. There's another really good creator. This one's called Creators of Creators. Red Heaven. Here's a Canadian band that Liza Day introduced on Independent Many United stream on Friday. On that stream, she had, I think, 3 premieres. It was one of the best streams I've seen in a long time. Very well done. Red Heaven, I found out during that stream, he's Canadian and doesn't live too far from me. So Hetriani 15th Ben, sorry, I found a new friend. This guy's awesome. His name's Joel. Please go check him out. I am going to have him on the show. Liz wants to be the feature co-host with that. And then Wood Burning Karaoke. Thank you, Sandy Kirk, for mentioning your artist. I did have make some time today to go check out her channel, Queen Bee Karaoke, I think it's called. Great little channel. Karaoke's on Sunday nights. Very cool. So thank you for that. And we're going to leave it at this. And yeah, I'm excited. Let's go into the next song. Another one from Tierra del Fuego. This one's called Broken Cup. You want to talk a little bit about it?
I can just say that this was written, I don't know, it's one of my favorite songs that I've written. If I have to, I guess that's why I picked it as one of my 5. And I will say that I owe a debt to Townes Van Zandt for, I'm not comparing myself to him, but I'm saying that I wouldn't know about approaching song structure like this if not for studying Townes Van Zandt. So that's the setup.
That's fantastic. I know there's a gentleman in the chat right now, Live to Fly, who's a huge fan of his.
Yep.
Yeah, David.
Great covers.
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh,
Let me get rid of this. Here we go. Not sure how it started at the beginning, but there we go.
I rambled away the golden days of youth, taking the knocks, looking for truth, but all and shut you down, shut you up and toss you round, kill you with kindness, make you one of them. Time it gets old and distance grows cold. Troubles they sleep in the night. When you wake up, won't you drink from my cup? We fall through the cracks, it goes dry. Now standing in a place where I can see that the road stretches out on either side of greed. The death machine rolls out across the burning plain, releasing souls from the toil and the pain. Feel the winds of mercy now blowing at your back, pushing you on through the attack. Time it gets old and distance grows cold. Troubles they sleep in the night. When you wake up, won't you drink from my cup? We fall through the cracks, it goes dry.
Let's make sure I hit pause this time. Wow.
Epic.
Thanks.
Truly. Yeah, I can see what you meant by Van Zandt there. It's just, yeah, so well structured.
And that
Yeah.
steel guitar solo really was. It really
Thanks.
was amazing.
He did that live as we were tracking it.
Oh, wow.
That's
Yep.
unbelievable.
Yep.
Well, that one is one of those tracks that you get from Tierra del Fuego. That reminds me of, so there was a diner that we used to go to after high school. End of the day, we would go down this place. It was called the Dump, and they had a jukebox. It was one of these, like a hole in the wall. It was the most hole in the wall diner you could ever, greasy spoon you could ever imagine. And you go in there, and air filled with smoke. Didn't have the rules that they have now. Back then, and there was the cigarette machine, which we all used pretty liberally because they didn't pay any attention to it. And then there was a jukebox, and in that jukebox they had real country music, not this like Kenny Chesney and whatever Garth Brooks stuff. No, I mean like the real old school country. And you have that vibe nailed. Like it's perfect.
Thanks.
Do you listen to a lot of that kind of stuff? Or
Yeah, I mean, my dad
You have to.
took a deep dive into country music starting in about 1969. And he was into Western music more than country music, like Western swing, Bob Wills, and everything that descended from that. Merle Haggard, a lot of Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Ray Price. You love the swinging stuff. Billy Walker, Red Steagall. It's been fun. He's been giving me his records, moving them over here lately, and it's a blast going through them. My good friend Roland, who's in And Guppies Eat Their Young, is helping me clean the records up. It's a study. When I listen to those records, I can see where a lot of my I can see my roots there. Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I can relate a little bit. Now, I didn't listen to a lot of country growing up. I was never really a huge country fan, I would say, but like in the car, we only had a few tapes that we listened to in the car. By the way, your dog is adorable. It was on earlier, and I was just like, oh my goodness, it was melting my heart. But we had in the car just only a few cassette tapes, and one of them was the Highwayman album by the Highwaymen.
Okay, yeah.
So we listened to that every time we would go on a road trip. Listen to that all the way through. And it's such a cool album. Like I particularly love Johnny Cash's verse in Highwayman. I know it's not even their song. Like, it's actually a cover of this. It wasn't even a country singer. It was like just a folk guy from the mid 70s. But I love his verse about I was flying a starship across the universe divide. Like, that's so epic, right? So I do like stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
And you guys you have that vibe.
Thank you. We all basically came up through a punk and indie scene. Like, that's how we know each other. Mm-hmm. But then we quickly discovered that we share this interest in music that we kind of grew up with. And I agree with you. I did not like the stuff from the 80s, like Garth Brooks, Lee Greenwood, anything like that. I was going 100% in the opposite direction. And even the stuff, my dad's country music, I didn't appreciate as much as a youngster.
Now,
what
was his country?
My dad's country music?
Yeah.
Oh, like the Ray Price, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, that kind of stuff. He played in rock bands in the 60s. Beatles, cool. Stones, the Hollies, that kind of stuff. And then kind of lost interest around 68 and started getting into old country music.
My dad was, go ahead.
I was just going to say, interesting time to get uninterested in rock music. That was when it just got good, in my opinion.
I think a lot of it had to do with time of life. He had kind of burned out on playing in bands, and
I can get that.
He had gotten married and was trying to go to college, and the Vietnam War was going on, and there were a lot of factors.
Yeah. What an era to be involved in. It still holds a spot right here. Any music from the 60s and 70s. No, I was going to say earlier, my dad was a big Eddie Arnold.
Okay. Yeah.
Huge. And Glenn Campbell.
Oh, yes.
I remember we used to every Wednesday watch the Glenn Campbell show.
Totally.
Yeah.
Do you know the Eddie Arnold Christmas album that he did?
I have one.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yeah, I still have it.
Yep. He can croon. Do you still listen to records, Frank? You still play your vinyl?
I've got a record player. It's in my shed. I hadn't played. This funny thing is, about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, we had internet was down, and there was a big stink about it, where the government had put regulations now because nobody had internet. The banks were down, everybody was down, and it was for about a good 10 hours. And it was a serious issue here. Yeah. And I went out in the yard, pulled out my record player, And I think I've got a video of it on my channel, and started playing Deep Purple, a lot of these.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I still have my 45s and my albums, but of course, a lot of them are old stuff. Even Jackson 5, it's going way back. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. You still got all that.
Yeah. Well, I had a lot more. I don't know what happened. I moved so much.
Life happens.
Yeah. So, I did want to shout out the some of these channels where I got most of my recognition from, and I owe a ton of gratitude towards. And I want to start off with the Metalhead Hippie. Jeff, he streams every Friday at 4 p.m. If anybody out there Ozark, send him a cover, send him what you got, and let him decide if he's going to play it or not. And to Thomas, every Friday at 4 p.m. And then Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time is when he runs his streams. And then after that, we've got Independent Mini United, who runs her stream, starts at 8 p.m. And it's a really good show. Like I said, last week was 3 featured artists. It was pretty cool, and I had a great time. Friday Night Hang, Laurie's Mishmosh. You never know what you're going to get on Laurie's show. Sometimes it's going to be music, or sometimes it's just her shenanigans. But it's a lot of fun, except when she adds me to a group chat, and it was driving me nuts. I didn't know how to turn it off. Every second I was jumping, man. I would jump. Pete Johns, weekdays at 7. And you know what? I apologize. I always get confused because I think in Australia, does time change 3 times, or does the show just change 3 times?
Yeah, no, it changes. So they go the opposite of us, but
Right.
they I know in April, I think it's the first Sunday in April, they go backward. So, but
Right.
to us, it's it makes everything they do later.
Right.
And then we go through the reverse in the fall. And when our times change, so that it ultimately ends up being like a 2-hour swing
Gotcha.
between. So it's earlier in winter than later in the summertime. But for most of us around here, Pete's on his YML show is Sundays at 7 p.m. now.
Yeah, 7 p.m.
You got GarageBand Weekly he's moved it back now. It's 7 p.m. Mondays. You got he does a podcast, and that's either on at 4 p.m. or 5. It's 5 p.m. now Eastern time if he does it pre-recorded, or sometimes it's after Jade's interview if it's live. And
Right.
then he's got the happy hour. We all do live shows on Saturday. So it's me, and then Pete, and then Jade, and then Pete Johns, and then every other week Brad Example is been doing live things too.
Yeah, that's your Saturday gigs. I like those. It's back to back now.
It's like going to a concert.
Yeah, and then you chill the rest of the night on Camp Chime.
Yeah.
Till 4 a.m. But I'm out by 11. But thank you for that. And I did have 7 o'clock, so I'm glad I'm caught up to the proper time. And yeah, like I said, if it's not Metalhead Hippie, it's definitely Pete John. That one of the biggest reasons why most of us are here. We owe a ton of gratitude to those two. And then there's a gentleman who runs a show called You Rock.
Yeah, who's that guy?
Yeah, really cool. Hosted by Thomas Christ. And sorry, with Pete John, you have to submit. There's a form. You go online, you just submit your song. Fill out the form and submit it. And the same with Thomas Christ. Every Wednesday, it's a great stream. It starts at 6 right now. And
but I'm 7.
Oh, you're 7 now. That's
7
right.
p.m.
Yeah, and that helps folk punk out a lot because right now he's doing a lot of landscaping and stuff. So 7 p.m. and it's another great show. He runs for what do you run, about 5 hours?
Usually,
Similar.
usually about 4, maybe 4.5.
Yeah,
Sometimes it'll stretch to 5, but that's about the longest.
it's a great show, and obviously I'm a supporter of that channel
Thank
as
you.
well. And then Jade, the channel that Jade, just like Pete, it's a daily thing. I think she only takes Friday off, our Friday, which is
Yeah,
Saturday,
well,
right?
she's been doing shows on Friday. I think she's looking to get away from that, but I don't know when that's going to start.
Right. So there's another great channel, and she has the interviews with artists. I know what it did for me and how it made me feel. Got me out of my skin, and being able to. Since then, I haven't stopped streaming. You see my face everywhere. It's she knows how to conduct an interview.
Oh, her interviews are second to none.
Yeah, yeah, and that's why I got the co-hosts here so they can ask all the questions, and I just sit back. Yeah, so that's typically on Thursdays. So,
Yep.
And I do have a shout out for her for Russ. He's got his album release coming on the 20th, but we'll get to that. And then Thursday night, indie music Rollercoaster with my man 15th Bend. You'll know why it's called a roller coaster stream, not just for how fast it goes. I have trouble keeping up to this. Like, if you blink on that stream, you're going to miss it. It's every Thursday at 9 p.m. And you can send a DM. There's many ways you can reach to get your songs played there. And yeah, I'm going to stop there for now. I don't have any more on this. Good. That's out of the way. And that's it. Let's get back to some music. And where are we? We're on track number 3. But before we get there, I'd like to, I hope this didn't move again on me. I'd like to just showcase some of the pianists in our community. Folk Punk gets a kick out of me saying pianists, but I think I've got it covered now. How you doing, Pete? So I'm just going to play this. This is, again, please go support some of these artists, all these links that you're hearing. It's really helpful. And like Jade says, we rise together. So let's hear this. Yeah, I love that. Let's get us back here. Yeah, please go support these artists. Brilliant, and they're strong supporters of my channel. And yeah, please go support them, and please. That's it. So we've got the third track that you chose was another from Tierra del Fuego, and this one's called Little White Pills. And if you want to tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, you know how some songs you work on and others just come to you quickly and they're done. And I feel like those, if they're good, it's like a gift. And all my life I've woken up out of sleep in the middle of the night and sung melodies into a tape recorder. And one night some years back, I woke up out of sleep and I sung this entire song into a tape recorder. And I'm glad I did, because I woke up the next day and there it was. I changed a couple of the words, but other than that, the whole thing was intact. And yeah,
That's amazing.
you can even hear me kind of like tapping along to get the tempo changes, because it has some halftime, double time stuff going on. So yeah, it's always kind of fun when that happens.
Cool.
Perfect. Let's play this.
Will arrive in the great mystic sky. Now could you really believe in some shit like that? The streets are on fire, it's a fueled overdrive. Where does it end? Can it be good? Wait until the sun has disappeared behind the clouds to call on all companions for the big tour headed south. Little white pills make me feel so good. Little white pills make me feel like I should. I was keeping you on a shelf until I needed you. Little white pills, now I don't know what to do. They survived under ever-falling skies, but then the dupes saw a chance to break wide, and all the children sang, but hope won't make you free if you can take it from me. This deal was going down the day you were born. Waited for the moon to rise to light the path away. I saw the spirit in your eyes and didn't have the heart to say. Bright shining light, they put their trust in you. Bright shining light, all the things you said we'd do. But there ain't gonna be a change to come here anytime soon. From the king to the palms on a board owned by fools.
to spit out all the broken teeth we'd hidden in our mouths. Lady of love, can you tell me it isn't true? Lady of love, we'll be hurting without you. So will you meet me there tomorrow like I need you to? Lady of love, 'cause I don't know what to do. It's a bright shining light and I don't know what to do. Little white pills, I don't know what to do.
Wow.
Even the dogs like that one.
Yeah.
That one hits close to home. That's beautiful. So well
Yeah.
written.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah.
That's
Excellent.
also Jane Hilton on violin on that song. Very well done.
Yeah, that's just beautiful.
Tremendous.
And Ron Marshall on drums, Matt Weiser on steel guitar, James Piper on electric guitar. I was playing bass and singing. And I believe I did. I don't know if I did the backing vocals or if Ron did those with me. I don't know. I'd have to check. But
Was that you on main vocal?
yeah, that was my lead
Yeah.
vocal for sure. Yeah.
Did you have like so have you had like formal vocal training or did you just kind of like teach yourself to do it?
Not beyond high school. I had a good high school vocal teacher, and she worked with me one-on-one and helped me with some, like preparing for like a contest, that kind of thing. And so I was able to pick up a few things like how to shape vowels, a few things about singing in groups. Like I sang in ensembles and stuff. Like if you're a backing singer, don't put the S's on the end of the word. Let the lead singer do that. Just little tricks like that. So I wouldn't call it formal vocal training, but I had somebody give me a few pointers along the way.
There's a question for you from Folk Punk.
I have always considered myself a guitar player or a bass player first. Like that's, yeah. Yep. So when I list my credits on an album, it always says Brock Ruggles, bass, lead and backing vocals. The bass guitar gets listed first.
That is cool.
Bass over guitar?
Yeah. I have probably played guitar in more bands than I played bass, but bass was always my love. Like that's what I always wanted to play. And then I would just get in one of these situations where like, well, we already had a bass player. We need a rhythm guitar player. Or, for years, I never had a chance. So when Tierra del Fuego started in 2005, I was like, all right, I'm going to be the bass player. And I've been having fun with it ever since.
Nice.
That's
So-
awesome.
Oh, go ahead.
No, so did you I'm guessing you had like formal lessons on bass?
No.
No?
That's pretty much self-taught. I mean, my dad
Wow.
showed me chords on the guitar, showed me how to bar chords, play sevenths, minors, stuff like that. And then from there, it was pretty easy to figure out, I see what the bass player is doing. It's just like 1-5, 1-5. Oh, here's the little walk on the dog. And he's throwing the seventh in here. It was kind of like my knowledge of guitar that enabled me to, but I've always loved the bass. Like, I don't know, I've really been drawn to bass. I played baritone, I played tuba. Always did. And to me, a song should have a bass line that you can sing. They should be melodic.
That is
Yeah.
cool.
Well, and
Yep.
the bass is really what like carries the song a lot of the time too. If you didn't have it, if like you could take out the drums and it probably make sense, but if you took out the bass, like then it doesn't have its foundation,
I love the bass.
That's what my dad played.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
You
played
come
this.
from a very musical family. I know
Yeah.
your uncle was very gifted.
Yeah, Sebastian. Yeah.
I've
And
seen a lot of his videos.
Yeah.
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 I was wondering if I could plug a few things coming up for the label.
Absolutely. This
There's
is
an artist out of Toronto called Frank Terzo. He's got this great song called "The World," and I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and I'm going to do it at some point. And Guppies Eat Their Young has the 20th anniversary of our last album called Once. That's coming up in August. There's a Tempe punk band from 1983 called Macabre Plague. I'm going to put out a couple songs of theirs. There's a band I did with my dad called the Tewksbury's, a live performance I'm going to be doing. My good friend Jason DiGiacomo, who was in And Guppies Eat Their Young, has a new song I'm working on. Yeah, that's what we got going on.
You got a few things going on your plate there.
That's
In addition to all the Tierra del Fuego stuff. Yeah.
It's a busy summer.
Probably too ambitious for one summer, but that's some stuff.
So I do have one question, and folk punk put me up to this.
Uh-oh.
So obviously we didn't talk about your other profession, but once we do, this will probably kick it off.
Okay.
Would you like to be called the professor or the doctor? Because he has a hashtag. He's thinking hashtag professor.
Sure. That works.
All right. We got a little nickname, folk punk. JJ, good call. So having said that, why don't you let everybody know what you do?
Yeah, that's my day gig. I'm a professor. I'm a history professor. I've been doing that for I don't know, over 20 years now.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
right. So that's what I enjoy writing.
Now, what kind of history do you specialize in?
I wrote my dissertation on punk politics.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, during like the 80s and 90s specifically. So yeah, I do a lot of modern U.S. stuff and foreign policy related stuff, immigration, modern Middle East, and my favorite class is the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah,
you find time to make music after all that.
How
it's challenging? It's really challenging.
I bet.
And, yeah, I mean that's a question I have generally for everyone, for every artist. Like, how do you do it? And I've tried to rearrange my life in many different ways. And the reality is that the music happens most magically after midnight. And that can create a challenge when you have to get up early.
Yeah.
I've tried to set timers, all kinds of stuff. I can't say that I found the solution, but
you could maybe you shouldn't follow my advice, but just stay up until 4 a.m. and then get up at 8 a.m.
Yep.
That wouldn't work well being a professor, right?
Probably not.
But it's funny you say that because I've got the same thing. If you look at my phone, everything I've hummed into this is I have to leave the bedroom and I'm just like, and I'm hoping I'm getting the right tone, and and then I even throw in the and I've got maybe about 40, 50 pretty decent tracks in here when I get around to them. Same thing. I mean, that's where it comes in.
Yeah. Frank, do you have a specific time of the day when you work on your music, or is it same question for you, Thomas, or is it just like wherever you can schedule it, wherever it can happen? Do you just like fit it in, or is it like always like, this is my set aside time, this is my sacred time?
Go ahead, Thomas.
Well, I'd say evenings usually, but it varies because I'm kind of like I work at a university and I'm not a professor or anything, believe me, but it's on a 9-month schedule, so I'm very much looking forward to July getting here because I'll get a break for 3 months. But so that during that time I can work during the day, which is probably better now because I'm a little more awake, a little more creative at that time in the day. But I think with my work schedule, it pretty much has to be in the evenings right now.
Yeah.
Although a lot of what I've been doing lately is just staring at the computer and waiting for inspiration to strike, and then it doesn't, so we move on to the next day.
It's tricky after a long day of work. Sometimes it's hard to to feel that inspiration.
Yeah, usually for me it's over the weekend, because as many know, as soon as I get home from work, I'm on somebody's stream. But when I'm not pushing it, I did this by design. I released that album on Bandcamp, and it's got 12 songs, 12 tracks, and I've just only released the fourth video for track number 4.
Yeah.
And I did that by design. I did want to take a little break. I have no doubt in my mind once I just slow down on the weekend and just focus on letting it come to me, it'll come, And then during the week, when that starts to happen, every night right now with this frozen shoulder crap that I got going on, I can't really play. I've been pushing it a bit. I've been doing 10 minutes at a time because the physiotherapist said it's actually good to, meet the pain where the pain is at and just keep pushing it that way. And it has been helping. But that's when I'll do it. Usually around 5:36 when I get home for a few minutes. And yeah, but like you said, once it starts, it just flows. So, I never rush. Sometimes the lyrics just come, like you said, just like that, and it's done. Like Thomas, he writes some pretty amazing lyrics, and I don't know, he's got to have at least 200 songs out there. I've got 34. So
I'm impressed with both of your outputs.
Yeah.
Oh, you got quite a few too.
Thank you.
Between the 3 bands, right?
Jeez, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad you chose the 5. It's like,
in my
man.
mind, I just think of all the stuff that's sitting on hard drives, like 85% mixed. I'm just like, I just want it out there. But
yeah.
There's a lot of music in the world. Tom Petty said years ago that if everyone just stopped writing music, we'd be fine. But it's still good that we're creating. It's good for the soul. Like, if nothing else, it's great therapy.
Well
Great.
said.
Absolutely.
And it's therapy for the people who listen to it too. You never know when a song's going to strike someone. Like, there are artists, like, I'm embarrassed to admit that I don't necessarily follow them, but they maybe have 1 or 2 songs that really mean something to me. And
Yeah.
that's a beautiful thing.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I want to shout out some, I've only got a few more shout outs. Doing for others. I have a little section. I know there's many of you out there that do so much, but these individuals, they really go out of their way to support different channels. We got Dan Anderson, who's just relentless on sharing other people's channels and whatnot. You got Independent Many United, seems to be in pretty much every stream that I know of. Leni Perez, another one, and Laurie's Mishmosh. They just do amazing work in the community. And Read Between the Lines, Rebel Rocker, and Feisty Feather. Those are another 3 that I've got here on this list. And Crimson Crux. Nate's out there. I saw him in the chat. How you doing, buddy? Glad to see you feeling better. And then I do want to shout out one artist in particular, and it's the Spin Doctor's Spin, right? Doctor's Orders. He's got a little corner, right?
Yeah.
I just love what he does this week. Like, every week he's remixing or spinning somebody's track. And I think that's just fantastic. People sharing other people's music. Yeah. And, I'm going to say at 60 years old, I'm going to tell you all, your success will come when you share, when you give. You'll get it in return. You will get it back in return. I Remember Everything by Michael Aka Zeeland. It's a beautiful track and great work, Dr. Zordas. Is he Canadian?
No, I want to say he's from the UK. I know if Jade was here, she would know for sure. But I'm pretty sure he's from the UK.
He should be.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, then we got up and coming Camp G May. Let's not forget Jeff is going to be hosting that, the Metal Fest. We got Gary Hubbs, we got Chris Lane, a whole bunch of people involved in this. It's going to be a great show. The Four Horsemen, you got Hetriani, 15th Bend, Development of a Void, and Michael Lanthier. Please go visit Michael's channel, and Gary Hubbs laying some bass tracks for these guys. It's going to be a brilliant little album. They're all going to release one track each, a mini EP, and then they're going to do one collaboration. So it's going to be great. The Delicate Giants, looks like Russ is doing a fantastic with promoting his own album. He's going to be having an album release on Jade's channel on June 20th. The link that Folk Punk and everybody's providing out there is for the Delicate Giants channel. Please mark that on your calendar. That's June 20th on Jade's channel. And you know she's going to do a fantastic job with this. And then Midnight Bandit, I believe it's on his birthday, the 29th of May. He's his first season of the Electric Noir show, an audio drama. And there's the channel link. So that's going to be good too. And tomorrow night, Thomas Christ on his channel. He's got a YouTube journey. Actually, let me just shout out Lady Campion Wednesday nights. She has a beautiful live dinner show. But Thomas, tell me about this show tomorrow with Pete John. I can't wait. Tell everybody.
Yeah. Well, I just kind of think when it comes to learning about doing this whole YouTube thing, you got to learn from the best. And the guy that I've learned from a lot already and continue to learn from is Pete, of course, and Jade Starr. I have to throw Jade in there as well. But without Pete, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And but I think it would be really interesting and edifying for everybody to find out how did he get where he is and that whole process, because we can learn a lot from that. So that's really what I'm going to be focusing in on with that one.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. I mean, that's how I did figure out how I found Pete John. And it was, I believe it was the Samsung phone mic that hooks up to your cell phone for podcasting. Yeah. Because before I even went on YouTube, I was fiddling around with Facebook little shows, and I would set up the camera in the back of the room here and just call it the Friday Nooner. I might bring it back, and I would just play 3 live songs, and it gave me a nice sound. So that's how I ended up finding YML, and that's why you guys are stuck with me now. Yeah. So that's fantastic. Let me just, I'd like to talk a little bit more. So I'm going to finish with these mentions. Of course, I'm going to mention my neighbor, one of my best friends, Hetriani. He's doing some incredible stuff. Thomas, wait till he's complete. I mean, he's got, it's not what you think when you think Hetriani, right?
Yeah.
Right across the board, every genre. It's just incredible stuff. He's going to blow everybody away. He's putting together an album. It's going to be, I'm so excited.
If it's Hetriani, it's going to be
he
class.
keeps sending little teasers and stuff. It's like shit. So Development of a Void, he's got a cool channel. Jackson Pierce, nice reaction channel, and he's an artist himself. Music Therapy Laz, he does shows on gears and demos and shows. Tales Told in the Dark, she was in the chat. Really Native American Bigfoot legends. It's an audio drama. It's pretty cool. The Nut House, who's a supporter of my channel, and I met him through Independent Many United. Boltonator, Dave's music videos, I shouted him out earlier. There's his link there. Music videos from some of the most memorable songs that you probably never thought you'd hear again. It's really cool. You got to go check that out. And Jenny Daniels, which hopefully will be on the show soon. She's very busy. She's got a country music channel, and then a Jenny's Pop cover channel. And she's quite successful out there. Beautiful voice. It's a good channel. Go check out. My Canadian brother, JM Unleashed. Words Matter, fun interactive games like Scrabble, Thursday nights, and he's a strong supporter of many communities. And a shout out to our friend DJ Big Red, another Canadian boy, 81. He's doing a lot of really cool stuff on his website where he's trying to grab as many of these artists in our community all together, like a one-stop shop. I think it's a brilliant idea, and he wants to tie it into the community pulse. You're more than welcome. Again, this show, I really did want it to be for the community. And so great work, DJ. CC, and then we got some karaoke streaming channels, which I do stop by periodically. CC Karaoke, great guy, Chris, another Canadian. Mama Rose channel, and Jovel, who's in the chat now, did Pustis, and she's a lot of fun. I like her stream. And Miss High and Pendar, they're tight, and they always stream together. Really cool stuff. And covered by CQ. Angela Tanzer has a good karaoke channel, and then a friend of mine. Together We Are Family. And that's it for the shout outs this week. Again, I really thank everybody who supports my channel. And Axe and Nacho, how you doing? There's another great channel, fun channel, Wednesday nights and Monday nights at 11 o'clock. So, yeah, that's it. Let's pick up where we left off. I think the fourth track is The Black Rake, and the song's called Tuesdays and Wednesday. Tell us a bit about that.
Wednesday is
Yeah.
so this one was recorded and mixed from my iPhone, and then I opened it in GarageBand on my Mac and I sang it. So I was basically, karaokeing to my own song. And so yeah, the Black Rake is usually instrumental, but sometimes the Black Rake sings. And when the Black Rake sings, it's usually pretty wacky or fun. So yeah, this is the Black Rake singing. This is me.
Did I get the one singing? I hope I did.
I think you got it.
Okay.
Distraction from the Tuesday pain and the Monday grind and the Sunday crying and the weekday slide to the weekend grind. Day slides up to the weekend smiles. Week piles up in the calendar round. Shelf collapses from the weight of time while I'm waiting here for the words to rhyme. And somebody get him on the line. Not sure, but I think he's dying. Ask him twice and he'll say he's fine, but that don't match what I see with my eyes. Somebody get him on the line. Don't think he's got much time. Hope like hell, but it's all some lie. Bit too soon to watch him die.
Yeah, fun is right, eh? That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well done. The chat just lit up. That was
Yeah.
so cool.
All right.
That's some
Yeah.
of my favorite stuff, like the really quirky and experiment, a little experimental, a little on the experimental side.
Yeah.
Love the videos with that.
Thanks.
But I gotta say too, you really, and a couple people shouted it out in the chat. You listen to some They Might Be Giants. Got a little They Might Be Giants vibe there.
Absolutely. For sure.
Yeah. Lady Campion is asking, where did this video come from? Did I miss the explanation?
And I'm going to check my bookmarks, and I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Oh, I know. It's called Citizen DJ. And
Yes.
it's, you know what? Okay. Citizen DJ. And it's really cool because it kind of links up my two worlds. It's like historical archives. Like they're linking the National Archives and making it easy for music makers to go in there and like sample stuff. And it's amazing. Yeah,
they actually have a thing where you can take, they have hundreds of thousands of clips, and they have a few different, like, it's segmented by category, and they actually have a thing where you can go in there and you can it makes like kind of like if you've ever used like a sequencer type of thing. They've got a sequencer for the clips, and then they have actually like sampled drum machines.
Yep.
And you can I was playing around with that the other day. That's phenomenal. But does it have a video? Is that the video came from that as well? Or
there's a million links. I can't tell you exactly where I got it. I know the credits are in the YouTube video. So you can look it up by that. But you know how Citizen DJ, you can just get endlessly lost in there. It's just link after link after link. And so
these are all free, where people can go in there and use them royalty free. And because that scares the crap out of me, whether it's this year or a year down the road, you get hit with something, even these free ones like Pexels. I always think at one point somebody's going to say, no, I want to get paid for that, right?
The cool thing is it's fair use because it's over 100 years old, so the copyright doesn't hold anymore.
Yeah, this is old stuff, like
I see.
Old interviews and things like that.
Yep. And a lot of it's part of the public record too. I mean, so you can use it fair use, like for teaching and stuff. But if you're making profit off it, that might be an issue if it's copyright.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but it's really fun to play around with.
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, this is I don't have any more questions, but I do want to play next week. Before we get into this, the last song, next week we have a rising artist from Australia. Obviously, many of us know Wesley Media Hub, Nigel. He's going to be co-hosting this show. He approached me to see if I can get Danny Stefanetti on the show. She's doing really well in the US right now. You're really going to enjoy this show, and she's trying to hit the YouTube now scene and get some notice there, and she's doing really well on Spotify and all the other platforms. I'm just going to play a little clip of a little taste of what we're going to get next week.
Many girls here in Australia can only dream of making it big in the music industry. But one girl has managed to achieve that goal.
You guys have been an amazing crowd to perform to, and thank you for listening to my music. It means the world to me. My name is Danny Stefanetti.
Danny Stefanetti.
And
to new talent. Entertainment reporter Sandy Kenyon is here now to introduce us to one rising star trying to find her place in the spotlight. Sandy.
Liz, one of the joys of this job is the chance to throw a bright spotlight on new.
Everything's alright. Ooh, yeah, yeah. Let's try. I'm thinking of you again and again.
Her 2023 single, You Got Me Thinking of You, has exploded in popularity all over the world since its release.
Are we just friends? You got me thinking of
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really cool show next week. So hope to see a lot of
Definitely
you
looks
there.
like it.
Yeah. So, Scapular Winging Records. Thank you so much for coming on this show. Like I said, I kid you not, you were one of the first that we thought of. I do have that piece of paper that we were talking with folk punk, and not ashamed to say, whenever we go on StreamYard just to chat, we get all excited, and we're gonna bring on folk punk now. And,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Hey, JJ.
What's up,
And
Folk Funk?
yeah,
There's another guy I want to give a big cheers to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a very supportive guy in the community.
why are you hiding your face, brother?
Actually, I was I wasn't quite prepared for a TV appearance here, but you know what? I have to say one thing. Looking at you three there, we're not worthy. We're not worthy.
That's the first time I'd seen your hat fall off while you weren't playing guitar.
Actually,
Yeah,
if there's
headphones.
anybody out there from New York, from Manhattan, this is from WFUV, Fordham University's community radio channel. Great channel there. But anyways, no, oh my God, this is bigger than meeting Alice Cooper. Getting a backstage pass to have you three. We're not
How
worthy.
do you think? Yeah, how do you think I felt? Like I said, I wasn't kidding. When I was all day at work, it was like my legs were just rattling back and forth. I felt like I was going on, and I had the same feeling last week with 15th Bend. I kept calling it the 15th Bend show, and it just it's like, yeah, you spend a couple years just watching, and with in Thomas's case, 3 years watching these guys, and yeah, I don't have to do anything in these interviews. Just I feel like I'm on their show. So
Hopefully make it a little easier for you.
Yeah,
this has been fascinating. Brock, I have been completely amazed with everything I've heard from whatever iteration of Scapular Winging Records, and just total respect and total enjoyment.
Thank
from
you.
everything
Yes.
and amazing. I would have guessed you were a professor, but I really would have thought it was of musicology. Yeah, I would have guessed you were a musicology professor.
Music history, close.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I appreciate you. You've been very supportive and very encouraging, and not just of me, but everybody else too. Like you're good for the community. So thank you.
Thank you.
JJ's a rock star.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah,
so
I just like my
And so is
backstage
Frank too.
pass.
Come
you have
on.
an accurate
Frank
mind
Turzo.
too. You have a good memory. You have a good recall for just little factoids about music.
Things that impress me stick, you know, like that. I remember when you played the track with your mom on the organ on You Rock. That just was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's awesome.
That was cool, miking up that pipe organ in the university. That was a big deal. It's the
Yeah.
pipe organ's kind of like its own building, you know. They built the building around the thing. So
Right.
Well, I
Carilion?
actually
Was it a
I actually
Carilion?
play the pipe organ, so that was
Oh yeah,
that was a special treat for
Thomas
me.
is a pianist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut up,
Well,
JJ.
I can be that too, I guess.
You know, I taught fourth grade for 30 years, so you know, you spend enough time in the asylum.
I remember what I was like in fourth grade, so I Man, I don't know how you did it for that long.
Yeah.
I'll bet you were good with those kids. I bet
Yeah.
you were. Yeah.
He's,
I had fun. I had fun.
it's definitely
I hope
that
they
cool
did.
to see, for sure.
Actually, I just ran into a mom of one of the students this weekend. And I'm thinking, oh, she's in high school now? And mom's like, no, she's 22. She's getting married next month. Oh my God.
I always try to overestimate with somebody you haven't seen in a while. You know, how your kids doing? You picture the kid like 5. You're like, so are they like 15 now? They're 10. I'm like, I guess I'm overshooting it a little bit. But, I always try to overshoot because time flies.
It does. Yeah. It does. It does.
Well, it's like I work in a university in admissions, so I see the ages of these kids that are coming in. They're just starting college, about to embark on that, and I see these dates just 2007, 2008, like now
for birth dates, yeah, when they were born, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I was born last century.
Yeah, I think I'm the oldest one here. Yeah. Yeah. But let's
one of us doesn't have gray hair. Although Thomas, you do have a little white hair, don't you?
I have a little bit. This light, that's why I like this light, because it does it makes it look a little darker than what it is.
Hey, I've earned every one of these white ones, so they're my badges of courage.
That's like the Sesame Street commercial thing. One of these things just doesn't belong here. Yeah. So
this has been great. I've loved hearing
amazing.
The music tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we did a little test stream during the week, we as soon as Folk Punk found out Brock's a professor, it's like, what? Yeah. And he kept sending me a whole bunch of questions, but Thomas seemed to ask the same one. So I'm thinking, did he send Thomas the same ones? Probably not. But
it's like a new rock. We'll make comments, and it's like the exact same thing.
Yeah. So that was good. Yeah. No, this is really appreciate your music, what you're putting out there, Brock.
It's excellent.
As you know, I don't think I've missed many of your tracks that you've released. Yeah, you're an inspiration. One of the songs, I think this one you played earlier, the tango-ish, the first one, the Devil's Waltz. Mm-hmm. That's actually, I owe you a ton of credit, because I was going to say it, but then we just kept moving on. But that's what inspired me to write Common Man.
Really?
Yeah. And I wanted that little, and then from there, it inspired me to make the whole album different genres, because I'd never done a blues. I've never done a country. So I just kind of grew from there, but it grew from that song, Common Man. And I thought a nice little tango, because it was really sounded more like just the Ian Tyson type strum. And then I wanted to just turn it into a tango, and I owe you a lot for that, because that's truly what inspired me. When you see somebody else, like, to me, that's a risk, right? When you're stepping out of your comfort zone, maybe not for you, but for me, it's like, I know I could do it, and why the hell not?
Yeah.
And yeah.
And it always turns out in your own fun, unique way, even if you're trying to emulate somebody else. Like, it always turns out original in your own way. And I'm really glad you mentioned that little tidbit. I made a note of that because, sometimes when people give me compliments, I just, my ears turn red and I tune them out. So I just made a note of that.
Very cool.
Actually, I was talking to Frank about, we have the time for this, another segment of the show. Wouldn't it be cool to share the most touching comments we've ever got on a video, of somebody that just sent us a comment that was making us holy macro, give those people a shout out, the listeners that take the time to make a comment.
That would be on that list.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? I think you and Thomas should be doing your own show, a separate show. I think you guys would be brilliant together. No, I'm not kidding. I think something even like this. Shit. If you want this show, you can do that too. Huh? Yeah. No, I'm just saying, if you guys can come up with something, I think you guys are brilliant together. You're smart, you're quick on your
Let's see if we can come up with the 8th day of the week.
Well, if I can figure out how to do the thing where we could have a guest on You Rock and have the music, and I think there might be a way to do it. I'm definitely gonna have folk punk on first.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So cool.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy, because he does a lot, and I appreciate it.
And Leela, all of those side links, those
here he goes again, right? Yeah.
Researched and built this whole big spreadsheet for us.
Yeah. But that's what makes you. Like right away. Dish it off somebody else. It's just beautiful. So I do want to play.
Still got a song left?
Yes. So this next song is Under Brock Ruggles, and it's Death Ship Colors. What's that all about?
I wrote it and I recorded the instruments on my iPhone, and then I opened the file in GarageBand on the Mac and started putting down the vocals. And as I was doing the mix, that's what made me realize that I need to be working in Logic Pro or Pro Tools. Not for everything, but there are just certain to keep my efficiency, to keep moving along, I need to be able to group my tracks and EQ my effects and things like that. So, but despite not having the ability to do that, I mixed this song in GarageBand, and I ended up generally pleased with the way it turned out. So that's the story.
Let's give it a spin.
Could see these colors, you know I was another, something more than what you see, staring back in disbelief. The ship is going
Hey, Roland. We'll check.
Lightning down will burn its way out on boundless seas of endless doubt. Higher light so bright, it's fucking blinding. Pretty lovers, resplendent among others, who follow in line to see the fireful colors bleed. The ship is going
Wow, indeed.
Yes. I don't even know if I've heard that one before. Up until you sent it to me. That's just beautiful.
It had a groove that it slipped into there on, like, was it the chorus, I guess, maybe? But that was perfect.
Yeah, and a few people in there said of radio, for sure.
Yes, yeah.
Most of your music, I believe, belongs on the radio.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I say that about almost everyone you hear around here. You listen to stuff that's on the radio, and you listen to what people like Brock and Folk Punk and Frank are creating, and it's like, why are we not hearing this?
And actually, you make a good distinction there, because the way radio is now in most places, it doesn't deserve this.
Yeah.
This is too good for what is out there as radio.
Yeah, well, you have Clear Channel that's just, saying, these are the people that paid us to be played, so this is what you play. You used to have independent DJs who did a lot like what Frank's doing here, and a lot like what we do and Hippie does and everything. I mean, they had their own things. They went on and they scouted for music, and they said, hey, this is cool, let's play this. And that's how people got discovered. And that doesn't happen anymore, because you can't play what you want.
Right.
Yeah.
This is free range radio here.
Yeah. We're fortunate to have people like you putting shows together like this to feature independent artists.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I say, without them, especially Metalhead Hippie and Pete John, without them, and then you get the Thomas Christ coming out from there. You got Ron Warden, you got 15th Bend, Jade Starr, and then you bring, and this is how we've grown. I
don't know if I mentioned Hippie specifically, but Jeff, the Metalhead Hippie, has been a wonderful supporter and promoter, and someone I owe a debt of gratitude to. So I wanted to be sure to mention him.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Boom to the
We just said that last one. That was good. So, so on that note, let's not forget, Metalhead Hippie has a birthday coming up on June 3rd. So I wish I could have that helium effect so we can sing them happy birthday. So if anybody is out there, just torture the F out of them. Like, do a 10-minute track.
Yeah. We got it.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you.
Boom.
Happy birthday, Metalhead Hippie. Happy birthday.
Metalhead helium song.
I love it.
With a helium.
That's perfect. Yeah, somebody's got to send them a 10-minute recording of that over and over and over. Yeah, so Jeff, I don't know, you probably know that Thomas's birthday is on the 2nd, and yours is on the 3rd, and I think there's somebody else's too. I think Colourful Energy, maybe somebody, or Laurie. Isn't Laurie's birthday coming up soon too? Yeah, so a lot of things happening, and once again, we're not going to keep anybody too long, because I think Vince Janella is out there. Jeff, is he on?
Probably by now, I think.
He is, yeah. I don't want to stay on too long. I guess we all have to work tomorrow, so I'm going to go on to Vince's stream. Yes, he is on. Thank you, Jeff. If we can throw his link up there, please, if you guys want to stop by and let's say hi to Vince Janella. He's a good supporter of these communities as well. And Canadian fishing musician. Great to see you. So that's it. Thomas, do you have anything you want to add?
Well, I guess just check out if you haven't seen You Rock on Wednesday, come on by, and we start at 7 p.m. And if you want to send a song in, bit.ly/You Rock submit, very simple form, just like Pete Johns has and Ron, and And then I do Thomas Christ Live on Saturday at 7 p.m. and we got Jade and Pete and Brad, so it's a good time.
Yeah, it's definitely a night of entertainment. You start at 8 or 8?
I started. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 8 now.
8. Now
I
you're
even get
getting
confused
mixed
with
up.
the times when they move
You're
back
hanging
and
out
forth.
with me too long. So yeah, Thomas is on at 8, then Jade follows Thomas and at 9, and then Pete John is at 10 o'clock, and every other week we have Brad Example, and then we go on to Camp Chime. So it's a great night. That's awesome.
Now, everyone else in the world that doesn't live on the Eastern time zone, do your calculations.
Yeah.
Timeanddate.com.
It's your best friend.
That's right. So
thank you so much for letting me come backstage and getting to see you guys and the professor. That it's a master's class every time you listen.
Thanks.
Thank you, JJ. Really, this show is our show. I couldn't do anything. I just sit here with all your work in the background and your research and stuff. Thank you very much. And so, yeah, Brock, thank you so much for accepting this. I really appreciate it. And keep rocking us those tunes and putting them out there. Looking forward to listening to what you have.
Thanks. Keep watching. We just played a backyard party recently, Tierra del Fuego, and I hope to be posting some video footage from that real soon.
Very good. Man. Yeah, this is going to be so cool.
Lucky people having these backyard parties, and they got Tierra del Fuego.
Where are these?
They don't know. They don't know how good they have it.
Well, I'm grateful for y'all. Thank you very much.
All right, and thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Once again, thank you, Fish. Hope to see you all on Vince's channel and throughout the week. Tomorrow night on Thomas's channel, we're interviewing and finding everything about Pete John. So I'm looking forward to that, and I will definitely see you all there. And on that note, I'm just going to do a farewell song. And once again, thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Stay kind and creative, everyone.
Keep rocking.
Right on.
We are, we are, we are, we are. 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 Sister, brother, father, mother, we are one and the same. We are friends, chosen hearts, shared a force of nature. We are family, forever like a diamond, special treasure. We shine. Family. Are we not part of one another? Our love is gold. Family. We are family. We are family. We are family. We are family. Your life could get in the way sometimes, but no